Call to order the November 20th meeting of the Cary Town Council. And at this time, I'll recognize Councilmember Con Johnson for our ceremonial opening.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everyone. I'm really happy to share information with everybody about the Town of Cary's annual Heart of Cary celebrations. It's about to transform our downtown into a magical destination again this year, and it's really no wonder that we're on the media's cutest Christmas town list. We'll officially kick off the season with our spectacular tree lighting ceremony, making it really the start of twinkling season and the lights and sounds across Cary. But the heart of the celebration lies in the diversity of the things that we're doing here, and we're proud to host meaningful events that reflect many traditions from around the community. We have our cherished menorah lighting ceremony, and that celebrates the Festival of Lights, and will honor African American heritage with our vibrant Kwanzaa celebration, and that's got music and cultural activities and community togetherness. And for those seeking other inclusive events, we make sure to visit our spectacular Chinese Lantern Festival at Cocoa Booth Amphitheater through early January. It's a bright and beautiful way to celebrate the coming of light as your year draws to a close and the days get shorter and darker. And there'll also be family favorites like the viewing of handcrafted gingerbread houses, a Motown Christmas performance, which I didn't know about until today, so I'm excited for that one, and our annual community-focused gifting tree project. And there's really a lot more. So the heart of the holidays, it's a season that's dedicated to bringing all of the traditions here in Cary, the cultures and the neighbors together, and looking forward to celebrating with everybody. But I also want to make sure that folks know where to find the information. So you can see all the events on our carync.gov website. Really the easy way to get to it, just search Cary Heart of the Holidays. I checked it in 2 different browsers. It comes right up. And the links and the full calendar are there so that you can find out what there is and put it on your own calendar. Additionally, Councilmember Jack Smith was inducted into the Order of the Longleaf Pine. Congratulations, Jack. And I asked him to please propose the toast now that he can anytime he wants to.
Is that right?
Anytime you
want.
want.
Wow, that's good.
You have that honor.
So we're all going to hold up your proverbial cup. You can use your iPhone and just put a little cup on it or something. And so here is the longleaf pine toast. Here's to the land of the longleaf pine, the summer land where the sun doth shine, where the weak grow strong and the strong grow great. Here's to down home, the old North State. Cheers, everybody. Cheers. Thank you.
Now please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we're now at the back up. We're at the beginning of the meeting where we need to motion to adopt the agenda.
So moved.
So moved, and is there a second?
Second.
There's a second. Discussion. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Now we have an agenda and we can move forward. First, we move to recognitions, reports, and presentations. And I would, the first one is Capital Area Preservation Anthemian. Gosh, that's hard for me to say. Award for the relocation and rehabilitation of the historic Ivy Ellington House. And I'll turn it over to Councilmember Michelle Craig, who can help me speak when I need to and for.
It's only because I practiced it for a while. So on September 23rd this year, the Ivy Ellington project was awarded the Anthemian Award through Capital Area Preservation. Anthemian Awards recognize outstanding dedication and commitment to excellence in historic preservation in Wake County. The Ivy Ellington joins other past Anthemian Awards, such as the Cary Arts Center, Page Walker, and multiple historic homes, as well as individuals and townwide preservation initiatives. Preserving Cary's rich history has long been a priority for our town council, and the Ivy Ellington project is an example of that commitment. Built in the 1870s, I think I should have drank a little bit more of that water when we were toasting. Built in the 1870s, the charming Gothic-style cottage faced an uncertain future as its original site was slated for development. Rather than see the piece of our past lost, the council made the decision to relocate and restore the home. Selecting the new site on Academy Street involved thoughtful planning and careful consideration, from finding a setting that honored the home's historic character to ensuring the necessary infrastructure was already in place. The Ivy Ellington joins a growing list of adaptive reuse successes in Cary, including the Page Walker Arts and History Center, the Cary Arts Center, and the Cary Theater. Each of these projects reflects our dedication to preserving history while reimagining its use for generations to come. Thanks to the partnership with Thoughtcraft Architects, we were able to restore many of the home's original features that had been lost over time, while also adapting the space to meet modern needs. The project was truly a team effort. At this time, I'd like to ask everyone who played a part in the relocation and renovation of the Ivy Ellington House, including members of the Historic Preservation Commission and the Friends of Page Walker, to stand and be recognized. And I do have the award here tonight. We will be having it framed, and it will be in the Ivy Ellington. There's maybe a small misprint on here that we have to get fixed before we have it framed. So I didn't want you to think we were just throwing it around. We'll get that framed so everybody can see it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So next, we have the Stormwater Team Recognition, and at this time, I'll recognize our Town Manager, Sean Stigall, for the recognition.
Tonight, I would like to take a moment to recognize the remarkable work happening in Cary's stormwater program and a person who has helped shape it into what it is today. Billy Lee, our Stormwater Operations Manager, was recently named the H. Rooney Malcolm Stormwater Professional of the Year by the American Public Works Association's North Carolina chapter. It's a statewide award that celebrates technical excellence, but in Billy's case, it also celebrates his heart and humility. One of his most transformative contributions has been the implementation of our adaptive management framework. This approach connects staff across departments and includes external stakeholders in the conversation. These working groups foster open dialogue, generate creative solutions, and have directly led to major policy changes, most notably Cary's adoption of a 100-year detention ordinance. In addition, under his guidance, Cary developed a stream sensor and rain gauge network that gives us live data to anticipate and respond to flooding. So while this award has Billy's name on it, it reflects the whole stormwater team's commitment to learning, improving, and innovating in service to this community. Their work may not always be visible, but it's foundational to Cary's safety, sustainability, and quality of life. Billy, on behalf of council and your colleagues, thank you for your expertise and dedication in keeping Cary's systems strong and resilient.
Thank you. It's a great honor to be recognized for our contribution in stormwater, and I'm including everyone. I want to thank council and the town manager's office for supporting us throughout the years. Stormwater is truly a team sport. We could not do what we do without the partnership and collaboration of all the departments and divisions across Cary. I also want to thank my family for their consistent support. This recognition belongs to the entire stormwater division, as Sean pointed out. It's truly a team effort, and their hard work and dedication have been an inspiration to witness. It's a pleasure to work alongside such an exemplary group of individuals. Thank you.
Thank you. So for those of us that have served a long time, we remember when stormwater was a major issue, like weekly, it seemed like. And you guys have taken us a long way, and we really appreciate that. Thank you for all you've done. All right, we're now ready for the town manager's update. Mr. Stigall.
Thank you, Mayor. One of the many things that makes Cary stand out among other cities and towns in the nation is that our parks, police, and fire departments are all nationally accredited. These accreditations have to be renewed through lengthy processes every few years. This week, the fire department had its peer team visit from the Commission on Fire Accreditation International, and I'm pleased to announce that earlier today, the team said it would be recommending us for full reaccreditation. 4 team members from the fire departments across the country toured facilities and spoke to staff from fire, as well as multiple other town departments to verify and validate documents and processes. We should know this spring whether the commission approved the team's recommendation. If they do, it will be the Cary Fire Department's 6th accreditation dating back to 1999. That concludes my report, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Stiegel. All right, we now move to Public Speaks Out. We've included instructions for speaking at this forum online and on the printed agenda. There are 3 opportunities to participate in Public Speaks Out: through written comments, by calling in, or by attending here in person tonight. And if you are here attending in person tonight and would like to speak, I'd ask that you sit in the rows to my right that are highlighted. Public Speaks Out speakers have 3 minutes each for their comments and may speak on any town-related topic as long as it's not a public hearing, and that's to your benefit. Public hearing speakers get more time. The 3-minute time limit will be enforced, not to be rude, but to be fair to all of our speakers. We have a timer on the podium. It'll start off with a green light. When it turns yellow, that means you have 30 seconds remaining, and when it flashes red, that means your time is expired, and that's the point where I will interrupt you, again, not to be rude, but to be fair to all of our speakers. I would ask that our speakers be respectful in their comments and direct the comments to the entire council and not to an individual. I thank everyone in the audience for understanding and respecting that this is a business meeting. Please do not applaud, make remarks from your seats, use props, or do anything else that may distract from the meeting. So now is the time for Public Speaks Out, and first I'll call on our clerk for any written comments or any registered speakers.
We had 2 registered speakers, no written comments. Our first registered speaker is Daniela Zipkin.
Hello, it's wonderful to see you all again. I'm Daniela Zipkin. I have a very simple visual handout, just shows where I live. I am from the Weston Manor neighborhood, and I spoke before regarding the rezoning, the 2024 REZ 14 at the Weston PDD amendment. It's an ongoing conversation, and I just wanted to show up again and say hello, but also that I since the last time I was here, I saw the land use study, the draft Weston mobility and land use study, and I think it's beautiful. Just wanted to say, I think it's actually really exciting what everyone has in mind for the Weston area, and I think it's neat that I'm here for it, that my family's here for it. And I found our neighborhood mentioned in 2003 where some mixed use was desired, and the neighborhoods that were built, my neighborhood outlined in orange, was thought to be a little too isolated, maybe too suburban in style, and now the question is, well, how do we mix it all in? And that's partly what this rezoning is about. You know, to be honest, we like our quiet neighborhoods. That's why we bought there. It's sort of nestled in, you know, close to the Greenway and all that. I just wanted to request that we continue to focus the highest density development north of Weston. That's where all the cool stuff can be, and then think about more of our transition abutting our neighborhood and our neighbors at Bexley. The lot in question highlighted in orange is 8 acres, as you know, and I think 300 families in apartment buildings will be far too dense. It'll be the most dense thing in the area by far. There's no precedent for this on our side of Weston. So I request that the application be rejected in its current form. I realize there may also be revisions, and I don't have the up-to-the-minute form, but rejected in the form that I've seen and resubmitted with the original 70 townhome option that was in it in the beginning. I think that vision would work really well to transition to all the cool stuff that's going to be built. This would be more in line for the vision for the future for Cary. And I do think that this little parcel could end up swaying a lot of the future development. So the decision we make now is a pretty big one. So we'll continue to be in touch and look forward to coming back and welcoming the new council members as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next registered speaker is Maria Crosby.
Good evening, and thank you for this space. I really wish I didn't feel I needed it, but I do. What I'm going to say is out of concern. In my opinion, democracy is under like a stress test, and paradigms are changing. In this environment, expressions of heartbreak from our elected officials are not nearly enough. The fact that local law enforcement is not cooperating with federal forces is good, but not enough. I would like a clear boundary of what our local police will and will not allow to happen to our citizens. Is kidnapping now allowed? Is assault now allowed? Do we all need to submit to unidentified masked men? Can Border Patrol or ICE arrest people for driving infractions, car accidents, noise disturbances? What are the guidelines for an arrest by federal law enforcement? Don't they need to identify in order to arrest people? Something like as simple as tinted windows. Do we now allow in Cary tinted windows? During this week, I realized that people do not feel they can call 911. Our local law enforcement may need training in federal law in order to make sure it is followed locally. We don't need broken hearts. We need brave hearts that find ways to protect all of us from these new dangers. Once due process is lost for all of us. Expressions of solidarity with those affected presumes that some of us are not affected. In order to debunk that notion, I request that the council publish the total impact of this operation in Cary, included but not limited to types of businesses and days of businesses that were closed during this week, absences from work, economic calculation of loss, K-12 absences in schools, number of arrests, including total number, arrest of people with criminal charges, civil immigration charges, and arrest of legal residents and citizens. My point is that we're all impacted, including this council and the Cary police, which we're all looking at. This afternoon, there was local law enforcement serving a warrant, and many people were checking on them in case it was federal forces. I'm sure that complicated their work. I want to see metrics of the impact and actions to protect the citizenry. Thank you.
Thank you.
No additional registered speakers.
If you're here in the audience tonight and would like to speak at Public Speaks Out on any topic that's not a public hearing, now's your opportunity, and I will invite you forward.
Good evening, Council. I want to first say that I'm here tonight
Could
in
you state your
solidarity.
name, please?
Oh, Felicia Moore.
Thank you.
I want to first say that I am here tonight in solidarity with my fellow advocate, Marina Crosby, who just spoke, and the message she delivered. While I was here, I wanted to talk again about transparency. After talking to more citizens around me and creating a very quickly gotten petition for the ask that the council stream all of its public meetings, I wanted to deliver those names. That's what I've handed to the clerk. This petition gathered signatures through link sharing in local spaces, and the document attached is names of folks who directly asked me to add their name, but didn't want to deal with putting their email in the petition site. I know that staff is working on gathering more information around the ask, but I also feel it is important for council to know that I'm not a lonely citizen asking for this type of transparency, and to help some of those other voices be heard as well. I also want to give a shout out of thanks to Councilwoman Bush for live streaming as much of the District B meeting as possible from her phone recently. I was appreciative of that, and I heard from other citizens as well that they were. I had another meeting to attend that night, and I was able to catch up with that because it was streamed. It's for reasons like that, among many more, that I think that this type of transparency is super important for making you guys accessible to all of the citizens in all of the ways. I'm going to continue to keep urging y'all to stream your public meetings. I was going to read this petition, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to say I have heard that there's a potential proposal happening right now, and I'm looking forward to seeing that. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else for Public Speaks Out?
Hi, my name is Toby Burla. I've been living in Cary for just 2 years now, but I love it here. Wonderful place. Thank you for your service. Thank you to the gentleman who serves in the police for his service. I'm feeling very emotional tonight, friends. When I think about the last phrase of the Pledge of Allegiance, with liberty and justice for all, are we really guaranteeing that? I know that you can't control what the federal government does. You're not in charge of immigration policy. I understand that. But it really disturbs me to see people being grabbed off the street by masked men with no identification. It's not right. We shouldn't allow this to happen in our community. We shouldn't allow it anywhere in our country because, as the earlier speaker said, it affects all of us. Just because I happen to have been born here and I'm a full citizen, just go back 3 generations to my ancestors. The same thing could have happened to them. And I think all of us should take responsibility for doing everything we can to protect our civil rights. I agree with the speaker. The town of Cary should make a report about the way all of these things are impacting all of us. The costs, the way it makes it harder for our local law enforcement to do their jobs. The kids that are scared to go to school, the people that are afraid to go out, it's not okay. And I think the town should say that. If I were to pull up in a minivan with some friends of mine wearing tactical gear and put on masks and started grabbing people, that would be called kidnapping. It can't be right to allow that to happen to our neighbors, even though some of them are not here with documentation. And I want us to all do everything we can to protect people. I thank Councilmember Bonsall for writing back to my email today, and Mayor Weinbrecht for writing back twice to me. I really appreciate it. I understand it's not your control, but let's do everything we can to help our neighbors. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else for Public Speaks Out?
Hi, I'm Elizabeth Murray. I'm a resident here in Cary. I feel it was necessary to come here tonight due to a issue with one of the streets, Old Apex Road. There is some major construction there due to the water line basically is being installed. Right now, I live in that area. It dramatically affects me and other residents. I have not been given and do not have the full information of what is transpiring as far as installing the water line. I live in the townhouses there. It has come up upon our entrance. It's going to be happening very soon. It could be even tomorrow. The way the road is being blocked off and things are being put in, I think is very unsafe for the residents accessing that area. There is a school across the street during school time. It is very, very congested. It is a much hazard. I have called in a couple of times. I have spoken to some people. I do not know what they have in store. From what I have heard, some things were overlooked. The town of Cary bought the land there at the townhomes. There was supposed to have been a sidewalk. It was missed for many, many years. It sounds like it's finally come upon them that they're going to put that sidewalk in. I have not seen anything on paper. It's all hearsay. And when they're coming to the townhomes now, it appears they're going to be digging up the street. Digging up the street and putting things in the dirt area is very different. If you dig up the street right there, it's going to impact us dramatically. Right now, they have put a piece of metal down where the apartments are and getting to the land in front of the townhomes. It's very dangerous. So at night, when you go through there, which I travel a lot, you go clunkety clunk. It's very, very dangerous. A lot of cars are swerving over to the middle lane. We have oncoming traffic. Someone could hit head on. During the time frame when individuals are out there, it is blocked off, so you go around that piece of metal that's in the road. I have mentioned it to someone out there on the location, and they're like, I'm not the person to tell. I'm like, who do I need to tell? Call the town of Cary. Well, it's the meeting. It's like, okay, well, I'm going to show up and I'm going to voice my opinion for that area. It's very hazardous. Tires cost a lot of money. Just recently bought a set of tires, over $1,000. Riding over a piece of metal where is not safe, not good for your car. I was told, oh, downtown Cary has a lot of it in the road. I don't care. I will avoid it, but you put it right where I live and I don't have a choice but to go over it, that's a problem. I do not expect to live in the town of Cary and have to be subjected to possible damage to my vehicle, damage to myself, anyone, because of the hazard that has been put on Old Apex Road in that area. There is not sufficient people out there for traffic time during the school time. It is not a safe situation. Who in the town of Cary cares about that area and wants to make it safe?
I have to interrupt you at this time. If you've left your contact information, the town manager will have somebody contact you and answer all of your questions.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone else for Public Speaks Out? Anyone at all? Seeing no one, I'll close Public Speaks Out, and we'll move to the consent agenda. Please keep in mind that for people watching our meeting on TV, I'll take a moment to review all the consent agenda items. One vote approves all of these items. We have 2 items on the consent agenda. 1, resolution removing public hearing 25A02 from the agenda. And 2, 25A08, which is 2220 Jones Franklin Road, to call the public hearing. Council members like either of these items pulled for discussion? If not, I would entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
There's a motion.
Second.
And a second. Discussion. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. We have no public hearings. We will now move to discussion items. The first discussion item is the renaming of the property at Ernest Jones Road to Bryson Nature Preserve. At the quarterly, council members took action to make this recognition, and tonight was the official adoption, tonight is the official adoption of the resolution that was attached to the agenda in front of us. Is there a motion? I am struggling to talk tonight. Goodness gracious.
I'd like to make that motion.
Jack Smith would like to make that motion. Is there a second?
Second.
And a second. Discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We now have the Bryson Nature Preserve Park named after our council member, Jennifer Bryson Robinson. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay, the second item under discussion is a council-initiated item, and I actually initiated this item. It's to televise our remote meetings. I requested this item be added to the agenda, and it was seconded by Mayor Pro Tem Jennifer Bryson Robinson. The way we do these items is we have the council member proposing something speak first, the council member seconding speak next, and then we open it up to the council, and we may or may not make a decision. I agree with Ms. Moore, who spoke earlier tonight. Actually, my first talk in a public meeting was in 1997, where I requested the exact same thing, that council meetings need to be open to the public. So this is nothing new for me. It's like deja vu. I totally agree. One thing, of course, is the costs and the complexities of such an item. I know from research that you can stream a meeting off your phone, and our speaker said she actually saw that streaming off a phone and was able to get the information she needed. But I would like to call up a staff member and hear what the ISAB said about that. I see Ms. Moran coming forward, and she can tell us what the ISAB came up with.
Good evening, Council. It was actually Town Manager Sean Stiegel that asked me several weeks ago to look into streaming of your remote meetings, because it's the marketing team that I have the pleasure of working with that takes care of your council meetings. And Mayor Weinbrecht, I was here in 1997 when all that happened, and you all actually tasked me with making this happen in 4 months. So I feel very well acquainted with it. Essentially, you have a couple of options. If you want to live stream your remote meetings, and to be clear, what I'm talking about are the work sessions that currently you have in the Herb Young Community Center, or your district meetings that you have in different locations around town, as a few examples, or your quarterly meetings, which you have in hotels generally. You have basically 2 options to do it. There are a million options, but I'm going to boil it down to 2. One is the fastest and least expensive option, and that is to put a couple of web cameras on the equipment that already exists in all of those meetings for you, including the audio. We'll need to bring another staff member in there to make sure that the folks who are watching this can hear it. And let me be clear, I'm not talking about creating a WebEx for interactive conversations. This is not interactive. It is simply through whatever WebEx or Zoom we decide is the best for you at that time, sending it out so people can see it live, and then archiving it in all the places that we archive it so people can go back and look at it. That's probably going to run $400 or $500 a meeting. Let's say 24 meetings. You're looking at $10,000 or $11,000 that is not currently budgeted. Make sense so far?
Yes.
Okay. And I'll talk about the ISAB in a second. I'm going to ask Councilmember Bush to help me with that. The second option would be to make it look and feel more like this. That would be where we bring in actual real cameras like these, 2 cameras, maybe some lights, and a crew. And that's going to run you about $8,000 a meeting, which, if you do the math, is close to a couple $100,000, I think. So we can do either one of those. And if you want to start with your December 9th work session, assuming you have that, we can do that as well. The Information Services Advisory Board, which, Mayor, you were the first chair of when you were a citizen, not yet a council member, looked at this, and Councilmember Bush did a great job of asking them questions. So if it's okay with you, the board did not take a vote. There was no official recommendation. There was lots of conversation, and there were ideas thrown out. But if it's okay with you, I'd like to ask Councilmember Bush just to share her recollection. She put it in an email recently, and it appeared to be exactly the same meeting I was in, if that'd be okay with you.
Sure, absolutely.
I hope so. So what we talked about were the 4 different types of meetings that we have. Obviously, the formal council meetings that we have here that are in this room. We talked about quarterly meetings that are sometimes off-site. We talked about retreats. We talked about work sessions. And then we also consider district meetings, which are also off-site, but not in areas necessarily that have the capabilities that we're used to. What was presented is exactly what Susan said. Excellent job. 2 other obvious options are to do nothing. That's always a policy decision. And the other obvious option is to keep doing what we're doing, which is making the audio available, not the full video and audio. So those were the 4 options. The feedback from them was that they felt, and I did create minutes of the meeting and send it back out for individual feedback from them, and they all confirmed that that's what they thought they heard as well, is that all formal meetings that are not already televised, so not the Planning and Zoning Board, not the ZBOA, which are obviously already covered, and certainly this would not have we wouldn't talk about the council meetings, but all other meetings in which council is involved, either as a liaison or as such as work sessions, we should find some way to do that. And we should do it to the highest quality we can, understanding the costs associated with it. And the recognition of that was to have WebEx meetings available for people to stream, WebEx, Zoom, whatever the right terminology is, that they could sign up ahead of time if they wanted to, or they could immediately stream it on demand, that they would be able to get access to it after a meeting, so it would be posted somewhere. And it, with the understanding that there may be additional resources required. Staff did a great job, Susan did a great job, not staff, Susan did a great job talking about the resources that are required are potentially some webcams, an extra person in the room to start, stop, and manage people coming in, admitting them into the room, monitoring, we wouldn't have a chat. So we got into the deep details of what does this look like. And it also may require some additional cables, cameras, et cetera. There's also a consideration of how we archive it, which staff would have to
do a little bit of background data because we want to keep in line with our public records responsibility, as well as an ease of use for people to watch this afterwards. So the recommendation was to do the WebEx meetings as much as possible with the cameras available. And also, should there be a need, and Susan did a great job of pointing this out, should there be a need for a more fuller production for something like a district meeting, like the meetings we had here, that be an option as well for those types of meetings as deemed fit. So that was the recommendation from the ISAB.
Mayor, if I may, just very quickly say, when I told you the $400 a meeting, it is, Councilmember Bush, I really appreciate her bringing up that the ISAB did talk about doing this for boards and commissions. I don't have, when I talk about $400 a meeting, I don't have that, and I said a total of $10,000, that does not include boards and commissions. I'm not saying we can't do it, but we can do that, and we can get you the number, and we'll send through a budget adjustment and whatever you want to do. I just want to make sure I was clear on that. If you decide that you want to go ahead and get started with your work sessions, we have enough money in the marketing budget right now to be able to accommodate, at least for a few months without a budget adjustment, whatever it is that you think that you want to do. The other thing is we have done some testing, and if we were to, for example, use WebEx, and we were to have the work session on December the 9th, as you have had previous work sessions in the Herb Young Community Center, we would be able to send that through Cary TV, through the cable channel that it currently, all these meetings occur on, as well as put it on YouTube. And assuming Granicus is behaving, we would be able to put it where the minutes portal and all that is. So our goal would be to make it be as much like this for access as we could. And we feel pretty good that that would happen. But we haven't done it before, so I know that you would give us a little grace in trying it out.
One last item I forgot to, looking at the list of recommendations I sent out, was that they requested a staff to work to measure the meeting access, to get feedback, community feedback, and to revisit it after a year. With a full evaluation and recommendations for any additional improvements, and to actually tap into our stakeholders and find out, so how did this meet your expectations, and do we need to tweak it?
And with that recommendation, if the council were to say that you wanted to do that, in addition to just putting the stuff out there, we would work closely with the ISAB and maybe even involve them in helping staff do that evaluation.
So I appreciate what both of you said. I think I'm in agreement with what both of you said. I feel a sense of urgency to start televising all work sessions, all decision-binding meetings, video. So that would exclude boards right now, but I don't want to exclude them forever, but I do feel a sense of urgency of getting started. I like the $400 option. I like revisiting it to see how that does, if that doesn't work or not work. So when the time is right, I'll make that motion. But first, I need to turn that over to Ms. Bryson Robinson for her comments.
Okay, well, very much in agreement. I remember back in 1997, because I was one of the fortunate recipients to get to start watching them on TV and seeing recorded meetings. So, I mean, I like this idea. I really appreciate Felicia Moore bringing it to us and taking the time to circulate a petition to, help articulate that there are a lot of citizens who are interested in this. So, I mean, I think it's a great idea. I had not thought about boards and commissions, and I'm not 100% sure that there would be a lot of people watching those.
We could measure it.
You can measure it, but I agree. I think doing the work sessions, quarterlies, and the retreat would be very good. And I would go with the $400 option. I don't think that we need to go with the most expensive.
And we can always revisit it like was suggested.
You will revisit it. You will
And the
revisit it.
district
You'll just-
meetings.
Yeah. I mean, if you do this and you're paying $400 a meeting and you have two people watching it consistently, then, you won't be going to the $8,000 option. But if it's many hundreds of people that are tuning in, then you might think otherwise, so.
Sure.
Yeah, but I think it's a good idea to get started on recording all of these meetings, but I would say, I don't know if we need to jump into boards and commissions, but.
Well, we did, this came up, and it does mention on the change.org petition that they're interested in access, as they are to anything that where we are making decisions or recommendations. So for instance, the Planning and Zoning Board, part of the email that I received was, there's no difference to their mind between a Planning and Zoning Board and, the ISAB or the HRID. Access is access. Access to what our citizens are recommending is access. What I would normally do, or what we would normally do, and I appreciate Susan jumping up so quickly, and my request to her to come to ISAB was with less than a few days notice, is that we could actually figure it out. We could do a pilot, as you mentioned, or December 9th, but we could get a formal staff report that would actually give us the data we need to make an evidence-based decision on, so what really is this cost once they try it out, do a trial, so that we know that when we're making a decision, a year-long decision of what that looks like while we try it. We're often, putting together things as we move forward, and that would be another way to implement this while we're moving forward.
Council, if you, just in talking with the clerk, I think you have about 10 boards and commissions. I was an English major, so let's use 10, helps me. Let's say you have 10 boards and commissions, and let's say they meet every month. So you're going to need $4,000 a month. If you decide to do the WebEx option, just based on our current proposal, it'll be less than that because you don't meet every month. But you're going to be looking at maybe closer to $50,000 if you want to do boards and commissions, just based on the information we have tonight. That's not to say we shouldn't do a staff report or anything like that, just as you're deliberating. I appreciate Jenny doing math.
Susan, I have a question for you. I mean, most of us jump on to Teams calls, WebEx calls on a daily basis. Why can we not, for boards and commissions, which most of them, not P&D, but most of them meet in a conference room, couldn't we ask everybody to bring a laptop with them when they come to their meeting, and everybody tunes in so that those watching can just see the people around the table, just like you would in your office, typical meeting, and then publish that link for the Teams call? I mean, just to make it affordable.
Well, I would have to ask Lisa first to see if there's a legal issue there, and ask Nicole if there's a tech issue. But I think getting 2 cameras and just showing the room will be less expensive than providing laptops to every board and commission member.
Oh, no. I mean, most people have a
Sorry.
laptop. Yeah, I'm sorry. I thought most people had a laptop, so.
No, well, I don't think that we would tell someone they can't participate in a board or commission because they wouldn't bring their laptop, and it's their personal laptop. And then how do we archive those records? And
what if their laptop has, like ours do when we work for the private sector, and doesn't allow you to do that sort of thing?
Yeah, so what, we would just set it up the way we set
I have a
things up.
question. I'm
That's why I
sorry,
think
I'm a little lost here. So for PRCR meeting, we already have in WebEx, right? Like there are people who join through WebEx, and those in the room, they're also on the WebEx, so people on WebEx can see everybody and they can participate in the conversation. So what are we discussing then? Like this is what we're doing.
I didn't know that you already had that. That's interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
so all of the boards and commissions already are on WebEx because they capture the audio in order for the transcription and the minutes, right? So that was the first choice, right? And so we could make that audio available. And in fact, we get lots of public records requests for that audio. So we could, that is like the lowest level streaming, right? There's nothing. And then there's providing the audio from the WebEx of a meeting that's passed. That's not allowing them to come in, but that's providing the audio.
So what we're saying is
Then the
that
next one is WebEx Live, participating in it live.
So what we are saying is that for meetings that have like PRCR board, we have a WebEx. So we are saying that we'll just start recording this and providing the information to those asking for it.
So that is one of the options, and that's what we do today.
Because-
Do you just have audio for your WebEx for PRCR, or do you?
Yeah, sometimes I do join through WebEx.
But I mean, is it video or is it just audio?
Video as
It's
well.
video.
Yeah, all of them
Okay.
do. So, so I know that for senior board, I joined the meeting once, and for EAB, they have WebEx, and people do join those
Yeah, they're-
meetings through WebEx. and
They're all
we-
hybrid, just like any other meeting. So
Yeah.
even if the folks on the board can't attend in person, they can.
Okay.
So let me say, we don't have council members offering an expectation that every time folks in the room or folks online would be able to see it and hear it. We do not have a staff member assigned to making sure that happens. You will be disappointed if someone is not assigned to do that. That is a cost. We are estimating at $400. That's our estimate. We can try to do it for less. But if you want assurance, then you're going to have someone assigned to do it. And we all know that you can't do more with less, and you can't do the same with less, or the same with the same.
So Susan, what you're saying is, I just want to be clear. what
Yes.
We're discussing. So there's a WebEx, the meeting is going on.
Yes, we're
And
talking
you're
about
saying-
boards and commissions, right?
Boards
You're-
and commissions.
Right, okay, right.
And that, what you're saying is that that service is available today.
Yes,
Because we're
I've checked
using
with
that.
the clerk, correct. That
We're
service is
using that.
available today.
So what you're saying is, or one of the proposal is that we will record that and we will have a public record.
We will stream it live out to the world and record it and have the public record.
And
And
that-
someone will monitor to make sure all that is happening in real time.
So that addition of service is what we're discussing right now.
That's correct.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
My brain was like.
No, you're doing great, because
Okay.
I wasn't here, Councilmember Bush rightly so brought up boards and commissions because ISAB did. That is not what was not the original charge. So we're all catching up with each other. You're doing great.
Other questions?
I have a question and a couple of concerns. I wanted to know in that, those estimates that you shared with us, Susan,
Yes.
does that include additional headcount? Does that cost factor in a potential additional FTE or some kind of headcount for the AV/IT team, whoever would manage the infrastructure?
I do not believe that we would require additional headcount for that. However, because it's a council item, it would be prioritized over other items, and we would need to look at capacities on that. But no one that I've spoken with has talked about an additional FTE. It may make other things not happen as quickly for boards and commissions. On the other end, for your things, work sessions, district meetings, retreat, it would be a contractor that was added to the contract team that's already there for you.
And that cost is factored into that estimate?
That's the
that you shared?
$400.
Thank
yes.
you. Also, one thing I think would be really important, and I've had this experience, especially with trying to run large meetings, you know,
Yes.
with the state, we keep having this
Yes.
challenge with closed captioning.
Yes.
And with, you know, people that are hearing impaired not being able to access the information. So I know that's probably, something to accommodate, and it may or may not be fairly straightforward typically to do. I don't know what technology that lower estimate includes, but I think that minimal accessibility issue needs to be addressed from go, not later on in the pilot, because I think it would be inappropriate not to do it from go. But I made the assumption that that is included, because I don't think you would have left that out.
Nope, I did leave it out because we don't do that.
Okay.
Your meetings here are not closed captioned.
But they're on platforms where they are closed
right.
captioned.
Yes, which is, I want to make sure that we're very clear about that.
Okay.
Yes, as you all know, I am visually impaired. What you may not know is I have a nephew who is deaf. Our family joke is that together we're Helen Keller, and what happens is we can't communicate with each other. I can't see him sign, and he can't hear me. So I understand it personally. Captioning is very expensive to do it in the captioning way where someone is typing out the things.
Yes. An electronic or AI generated, I think, is and we
Yes.
use that. I'm specifically talking about if we choose to use Zoom or WebEx.
Yes, of course,
And rely
of
on
course.
that function in Zoom and WebEx, It is very difficult and
Yes.
not terribly reliable.
Yes, I agree with that.
so
I
I
agree
just-
with that.
I
And,
just wanted to share
and the estimate that I'm giving you would use existing technologies that we already have. We would have to come back to you to say how we would upgrade from an ADA standpoint.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Sure.
Just on that, one of the things that came up during the ISB, and I want to bring it up here, because it was a charge back to us to look into it, is that the Wake School Board meetings, the Wake County Commissioner meetings, all of those, including their side meetings, are all streamed today. And several of the people who attend all of those said you should really reach out to them because they've been doing it a lot longer, and they're going to give you all the, all the things you have to worry about. Because going from 10 people to 20 to 50 and managing entry and exit, and if somebody,
Well, let me be very clear. We are not suggesting participatory Zoom meetings. The way our technology will work is we will use a WebEx or Zoom or whatever it is as our vehicle to get it out onto the streaming platforms. There won't be this coming in and coming out. People will not actually be participating
correct.
in a meeting.
But you have to let the 10 people on who are supposed to be on.
Oh, yes.
That's what
yes,
I mean.
Which is what the clerk is doing
Which is what
today.
the clerk's doing. That's what
Yes,
I mean.
Exactly.
It's
a
all
partnership.
the people who will have a different link.
Yes.
So, and managing it and getting it on the website.
Yes.
Right? There's a lot of process involved that we wanted to give, that the ISAB wanted to give staff time to think through the list of questions that they had before you implement, before you go full steam ahead, and try some things out and check in with other organizations that are doing it. So just giving you that.
No, and I will say it's great advice. A few weeks ago, when Sean asked us to look into it, I actually reached out to members of our team. We already started holding meetings, and there has been testing going on of all of this, which is why I'm able to answer questions for you tonight. When the mayor and I talked about this at the quarterly, he asked how the ISAB went, and I told him, and I would not be able to have a conversation with you tonight had we not already started testing and looking, so that when I heard those comments from the ISAB, it made me very happy. As you know, Councilmember Bush, I was the staff liaison to the ISAB for 20 years, and I just love that they are still who they have always been. Yeah. We've done some testing. It doesn't mean we'll have it perfect. We're glad to wait until January. We're glad to wait till 2029, if that's what you want. But if you tell us that you want it on December the 9th, you will have something on December the 9th that pleases you and probably will need to be innovated over time.
And I just wanted to share one other just quick concern. When it comes to filming, recording, whatever we want to call it, the advisory boards, that gives me a little bit of pause when it comes to privacy considerations, how those individuals might feel about being recorded and put on the internet indefinitely. I'm not sure. I think that would need a very significant amount of feedback from more than just one board. Now, as you know, I met both you, Susan, and you, Lori, as a member of the ISAB myself, right?
When we didn't do that. And none of the boards has been told you may be out there forever, because they haven't had to deal with that yet. So it's a valid point.
But I trust the feedback from that board. I know it's a very thoughtfully constructed group of folks that have a wide range of opinions, and so I do trust that group. But when it comes to the personal, would you mind being recorded and put on the internet, I think that would need to be something that we look at later, not right now.
That's why they suggested, by the way, the audio option.
Perhaps, though, the quasi-judicial boards, that's someplace where,
Well, you may also decide that needs to be part of your annual recruitment in the spring, assuming you continue to recruit in the spring.
Yeah.
That's a thing. If you're going to apply, know that this is a thing. So there's a lot to talk about with it. When you get to boards and commissions, for sure.
Do we currently have call-in and listen options for all of the boards and commissions?
I have to ask the clerk to.
I remember before I was on council calling in to I think it was HRID.
For most of the boards, we do have call-in and listen options. There are some boards that are in person only. There is also the boards that, like P&Z, there's no call-in option there because it's streamed.
Right.
So they can watch it that way. And then ZBOA does not have a call-in option because it's in this room.
But you would need, just to be clear, you would need to request that access before the meeting. It's not, there's not a link for you to go to the EAB.
I think I remember with the,
You have to
it's
ask
years
for it.
ago, it was like, there was like an access code that I
That's right.
found online or something, I
Yeah,
thought.
there, in our calendar, we do give a number you can call in.
Okay.
So you don't have to ask to call in. It's already on the calendar.
Yeah.
Anybody, and on the agenda.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that must be new
Susan,
because they
quick
also-
question about this, the comment that Mayor made about the meetings where the decisions are made, they technically where probably more than 4 council members are present, right?
Yes,
Those are
4 or more, yes.
4 or more. So how many, like, meetings are, do we have in a year?
We're estimating 24 work sessions and district meetings and the retreat all together.
But we don't make decisions in district meetings, right?
Yeah, you're correct. You don't. So 24 minus 4 is 20, I think, says the English major. If you want to ask me about adverbs or transitory sentences, I'd do great with that tonight.
Okay, so, like, can we roll this in phases, maybe? Like,
I'm not interested in that.
Okay.
If a council is together, I want everybody to see it,
okay,
everything that's said. That's where I'm going.
okay.
And boards and commissions, if somebody wants to make a motion on that, that's fine. But I'm interested in council only right now.
Okay,
And I think it's imperative that we do that as soon as possible.
okay.
So, other questions? I would make that in form
What
of
are
a,
we, but what are we deciding on? Just to,
I'm deciding that I would like to make a motion to videotape all council when they're together, videotaping that at the 400 estimated option.
right, videotape and stream
Stream,
and
And post.
Record.
and post.
yes.
So we're talking about, just for clarification, work sessions, quarterlies, the retreat, and district meetings.
Yes. And any specially called meetings if they're public meetings. And would you like to second it, or?
I will
should
second that,
Okay.
yes.
Open it up for discussion. Okay, call a vote. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion's unanimous. Any further direction?
Do you want to make, give direction that it will be reevaluated?
Oh, yeah.
We understand.
Exactly that.
We'll see you in November. I'll see you in November.
Okay, and I definitely want the information that Laurie and Carissa and others have made about the boards and commissions. Very interested in that.
Sure.
Want to know costs and thoughts and problems and how we would check with the board members and if
Yeah.
they're okay with that,
If-
not
I
okay
think
with
that's a
that.
very good point.
I
that
would
the
like to
board
make
members
a,
should-
so I'd also like to make a follow-up motion that staff put together a report on what the opportunity cost would be associated, pros and cons, and associated options with having citizens be able to stream our boards and commissions meetings. And to take that, everything that you do around a staff report. So making sure that you consider all of the concerns that Carissa brought up as well.
And Councilmember Bush, would you be willing to include in your motion that the ISAB helps us with that lift?
Certainly.
And that all the other boards are asked, the way we do so often, ask them for feedback.
Yeah.
Great. I think it'll be a great activity for the board and a great way for the ISAB to get to know all the other boards too.
Exactly.
And we would appreciate the help.
That'd be great. Is that a motion? Can
That's a
I
motion.
second that? Okay, I second that.
Motion and a second. Discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Anything you need from us? Are we clear in our direction or?
I'm Crystal.
Okay, and any other questions? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So we are now ready to go into closed session, but before we do, I hate saying these words, this is our last meeting with Jennifer and Jack. We've held receptions the last 2 evenings for these great individuals. Jennifer's 26 years, Jack's 36 years, and I would like that if they would close our meeting with their thoughts and comments. Ms. Robinson, Jennifer Bryson Robinson, would you like to go first?
Will you let Jack go first?
I think he wants to go last.
Oh, he
has-
does, okay. Well, I didn't actually put together any comments because I already spoke at the reception, I think. Were you there? I missed it. Okay, well, you missed it, but anyway. So I've already made some remarks, but I do want to say, for Carissa's edification since
Thank
you
you.
missed it.
I think somebody videoed it. You can watch it later.
I just want to say thank you to everybody. Thank you to my fellow council members, and thank you to our fantastic staff. This has been a real honor to be able to serve the town of Cary and to be able to have a hand in shaping, how Cary grew and what it has become. You all know me very well. You know what I think is very important for Cary. I think it's really, really important that we remember and respect what everybody who has come before us built Cary on, and their attention to details and standards, and making this a place that's easy for people to live, a place that's welcoming. So I hope that future councils will continue to prioritize that as they move forward. I will encourage all of you to be very careful as you do land use decisions, and really all decisions. If you can work hard to look around corners and try to anticipate what the ramifications are of the decisions that you make. It's a very difficult task, and as I said at my meeting, running a town is a lot like making a cake without a recipe. I mean, you don't know, you're speculating, you're trying to figure out what the best steps are, and I appreciate everybody who has patiently sat through our council decisions, and we've had so many citizens that have been very hospitable in the way that they have shared their displeasure with us, and we've had some that haven't, but so many Cary citizens have been really helpful to us. I would say as you go forward and you look at any kind of rezoning things, and I'm thinking now about the most recent one that's coming up, consider the citizens that are affected as your agents. They know what it's like to live in that area better than we ever do. And it's always really helpful to have the input from citizens. And I remember there was a council member once, and he was like, he referred to citizens as people you have to deal with. And I'm glad that nobody here at this council table regards citizens in that way. We have the utmost respect for our citizens. So I think that's really positive. Anyway, I think that's my remarks. I wish I had put more remarks together for you, but you heard me earlier, and I just want to say thank you to all of you for sharing this journey with me.
Thank you. Jack?
We've heard you for all those years. Nice thing about following Jennifer's, I can lead with, I agree with everything she said. So, especially the thank yous. I want to just leave a thought. We're going to talk about a military tradition called the presentation of the colors. If you've been to one of our recent Veterans Day event, or if you've been to almost any sporting event, almost any event across the country, a lot of times you will see the ceremony starting that event of the presentation of the colors. That goes to our history. Each of those colors come with generations and generations of history behind it, and the color itself. So in fact, if you look behind us or over behind the audience, we have the colors of each of the branches up there. But through history, the colors were very involved in combat when our military was called to the forefront. And over the years, those colors started to represent a lot of things, mostly around courage, loyalty, and you started getting into unit, pride, and honor. But up until the Civil War, the colors played a key role in battle because you didn't know who was on what side. So what happened is, as units went into combat, they had their colors. In the Civil War, you saw the battle flag of the South. You saw the North with their eagle and their colors. And my point of that is the colors became so critical because in combat with smoke and chaos, the units always looked to those colors. And so before you went into combat, a lot of times your leaders would say, here are our colors. If they begin to fall, who will take it? Because if the colors fell, typically the unit fell. And so over time, the whole thing of colors became the tradition and the honor of pride, and again, as I said before, the courage to keep on going. Now, in a way, I'd like to lead the thought that maybe here on the council, we don't sit here with a little flag in our hand or colors in our hand, but we carry the colors in a very symbolic way. We carry them because we know what the Cary way is. We all know that we want Cary to be the best. And we know as a group here that we want to make sure that we do that for our citizens. And that gets challenged every time we have election. We have new people that have to kind of learn that. And what they're coming to the table in is they're coming in with trying to understand the Cary way. They were excited enough to run, they ran, and now what we're looking at is what are the colors of the Cary Town Council? And I would argue they're very simple. They're basically teamwork and seeking the best for our citizens, that we value our citizens. So, you know, the old saying, it's amazing what you can accomplish if you do not care who gets the credit. This council and councils before us have come here, and we've always put Cary first. We've always made sure that it's not self-serving, it's not for our self-aggrandizement, it's not for those things. We've become the team that keeps Cary moving forward. So in the symbolic way, what I am hoping for is that, and I'm convinced it will happen, is that continues, that the caring and the excellence of our community is our banner, is the banner of this town council. And just like the military and their values, if it begins to fall, I am absolutely confident that the 7 people up here, the new council, will not let that happen. They will rise to the occasion. And that's the feeling I walk away feeling good about. I don't want to repeat myself. Jennifer had said it well. Thank you all. Thank you to the staff. Thank you to the citizens out there. I have learned so much from each of you, all of you out there that I've interacted with, and to our staff and our employees. All I can tell you is I've learned so much, and you have helped me grow. And I know it's helped me to do the best I could for you. I can tell you that to serve you has been the blessing of my lifetime. It's been an honor and a privilege, and a Godspeed and God bless. And thank you for that opportunity.
Thank you,
Thank
Jack.
you. Okay, now let's go into closed session.
It's hard to go into closed session now. Would someone like to read a motion to go into closed session?
Sure. Pursuant to GS 143-318-11A 1, 3, and 6, I move that we hold a closed session to consult with attorneys employed by and/or retained by the town in order to preserve the attorney-client privilege between the town and the attorneys, and to prevent the disclosure of information that's made privileged or confidential pursuant to the laws of the state, including 143-318-10E, or not considered a public record within the meaning of Chapter 132 of the General Statutes, and to consider the qualifications, competence, performance, character, fitness, conditions of appointment, or conditions of initial employment of one or more individual public officers or employees.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second. Discussion. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We go into closed session. 1035? 1035.
Oh, right here.